What is up, YouTube? This is your boy Skrilla.Gaming, and I'm bringing to you guys the best pub stomping class setup and a little bit of insight on some like competitive class setups. But I'm trying to do this quickly as possible. I already recorded this once and it was way too long. So I'm going to get into this really quickly, not get too much into competitive, but I'm going to try and give you guys some insight on a little bit of what those classes would look like as well. But for my first class, just gonna go through like the best guns. Obviously, the greatest part about Black Ops 3 is every gun in the game is pretty viable, but there is some clear favorites, obviously. So for your SMGs, obviously you're gonna have your Kuda, your VMP, and your Pharaoh. For my Kuda pub stomping class setup, I go with quick draw, extended mags, suppressor, and rapid fire. Obviously, you can switch out suppressor for long barrel if you like. But when you're in pubs, the suppressor is nice for keeping you off the minimap. I feel like rapid fire is an absolute must with this gun, and there's very low recoil, so you really don't need grip. Some people might prefer it, but it's just really not necessary. The recoil isn't high enough. Even with rapid fire, there's still not enough recoil. And then for pub stomping, always Ghost is a must for sure. Um, Fast hands, I think this is the one perk that just doesn't change no matter what. Like, unless in competitive it gets banned or something, which is like almost never, and when it does happen, people just get super peeved about it. And then third perk, I like to run tac mask because obviously you're not banning, concussions, EMPs, and flashbangs. In public matches, there is no bans, obviously, so all out. This is a class that I would run for pub stomping. I don't run with the secondary. I'm primarily just using this main gun anyways. Don't really have to switch to secondary. No tacticals or lethals. Anytime I use tacticals or lethals, I always feel like it gets me killed more than it does help. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they don't help, but I feel like with Black Ops 3, like primarily, like just souping up your primary is like the best way to go. So this is what my pub stomping class looks like for the Kuda. Here is what a competitive setup would kind of look like, and you can add, quick draw. I know a lot of guys use grip on the Kuda. I personally would probably switch it out for like fast mags or extended mags. I just don't think grip's necessary, but I think like you would see, this is what you would see from a lot of pro players: quick draw, grip, long barrel, afterburner, blast suppressor. Sometimes switch out if afterburner is banned, which a lot of times that happens. Overclock, or if overclock's banned, you have afterburner. Blast suppressor, obviously you can switch with dead silence. Or sometimes people run both. That's pretty much what a competitive setup would look like. Or no RK5 trophy system, or if EMPs or concussions are allowed, obviously you do that. Another beast SMG, obviously, like I said, Kuda, VMP, and the Pharaoh. This is how I run the the VMP, sorry. Quick draw, grip, long barrel, and fast mags. With long barrel, the VMP is like a freaking AR. It's unreal. Fast mags is so good. I just love. I mean, you're killing so many people, and sometimes you'll get in situations where there's still more people. And fast mags is the difference between you dying. Like another guy's reloading in front of your face, you're reloading, you reload faster than him. But I will say another god attachment that you can use instead of fast mags is stock. It's this attachment is absolutely hysterical. People have such a hard time shooting. You can strafe left to right so fast. It's amazing. But I personally prefer the fast mags just because killing so many people, the reload time is just so big. It's so nice. And as I said before, I think these three perks are the best perks for just pub stomping. Personally, Ghost, fast hands, obviously that's the different. Fast hands and quick draw obviously are the difference between winning and losing gunfights. And tac mask is just nice, save your ass from all those EMPs, concussions, etc., etc. Now VMP competitive, you'll see sometimes you'll see pros just go quick draw and grip so they can have a secondary, tacticals and lethals depending on what's banned. Obviously most of the time your tacticals are trophy systems or like flashbang. Secondary could always be the RK5 or the L car. This is very nice. And then obviously, like I said before, your blast suppressor, dead silence, and tac mask are interchangeable. It all just depends what's being banned and what's not. That's the VMP setup. I'll go back to this quickly. My pub stomping setup. This is just highly recommended, boys. You won't be disappointed, I promise. Last gun is the Pharaoh, and I think for the most part the Pharaoh attachments are going to be pretty much the same for pub stomping and for competitive. You got quick draw, long barrel, rapid fire, extended mags. Most of the time rapid fire is banned, so you're highly unlikely that you'll see this. And if rapid fire is banned, highly unlikely you'll see the Pharaoh. So this is just a pub stomping setup. But like I said, if rapid fire is not banned, you best believe you'll be seeing people rocking the Pharaoh. Same perks, and I already kind of went over what the competitive perks are, depending on what gets banned and whatnot. So this is it. Highly recommend this. It's so good, and there's no grip here as well because there's just no recoil with this gun, even with rapid fire. Now I'm gonna get into ARs real quick. The best ARs in the game currently are the Man of War, the M887, and the Shiva. Those are the 3 guns you're gonna see people using the most. Like I said earlier, the greatest part about Black Ops 3 is all guns are viable, but obviously there's some that have advantages, Man of War being one of them in the AR category. Elo or reflex, it doesn't matter. Quick draw, stock, grip. This is more of what you'll see like a competitive setup right here, with the exception of the perks. Obviously you're not running ghost in competitive, but you could also use this. This is a setup I use for public matches as well. Man of War is probably, for me personally, the only AR that really needs the grip. The recoil is a little gnarly, but if you can manage it, another pub stomping setup that I like to use, I'll go with high caliber, and also, let me get rid of the RK5 here, high caliber and rapid fire, and I drop tac mass. Obviously, like I said, heavily primary gun focused, but dude, if you can manage the recoil, you'll absolutely melt. And sometimes the recoil will actually help you, like you'll just be popping heads like nobody's business. It's absolutely crazy. This is also an insane pub stomping setup, but if you're not comfortable with the recoil, just run it like this, add the tech mask back on, beast class setup. You won't be disappointed, I promise. And as I said, the Elo and the red dot sight are totally interchangeable. They're both great. M8A7, this is what you would see for like a competitive setup right here. Switch tac mask for blast suppressor, or you can have tac mask. You got the trophy system, which is nice for hardpoint with the nades, etc., etc. RK5. Now if you're gonna do like not a competitive, sorry, but a pub stomping, I like to add high caliber and rapid fire. Obviously rapid fire is allowed. Come on, boys, you almost can never use it. The only class I forgot to mention, and I apologize, is on the VMP. I just really don't feel like rapid fire helps like at all. It's perfectly fine without it. So that's the only gun that you really don't use rapid fire. You can, I'm sure, and maybe it makes a little bit of a difference, but I really don't feel like it's necessary. And one other thing, so this is what I would use: the reflex, the quick draw, stock, high caliber, rapid fire. But you can switch out high caliber for long barrel. This is also very viable, but for the most part, I don't think any of the maps really have long enough range of sight for long barrel to be necessary. Redwood maybe on the back bridges, and I forget the snowy map where you have the church and then the grandmas. That's another one where you can use this, but I still feel like high caliber and rapid fire is just the way to go. And then the usual perks would be ghosts and fast hands. So good. And then the last gun that I'm going to show you guys is the Shiva. This is how I would have it set up for pub stomping. No tac mask, heavily primary gun focused again. Most of the AR attachments are always the same: quick draw, stock, high caliber, rapid fire. You don't need grip. There's like no recoil. It's a one tap of the trigger. Sorry, I can't speak English. And you fire 1 round. So rapid fire is really nice because it just allows you to fire faster. Obviously, high caliber, it doesn't matter if they're full life. If you shoot them in the head with the Shiva, they're dead. Even like, they could be pretty freaking far away and you'll still get them. Competitive setup, obviously you'll probably drop those 2 attachments. You got the red dot, quick draw, stock. You have your RK5. You can hook up with tac mask, blast suppressor, dead silence, or I highly doubt you'd be running like trophies or any grenades with this class. In competitive, maybe, it just depends. But I'm sure if you're running the Shiva, you're mostly holding down like anchor spots and just getting as many kills as you can. So maybe tac mask or something like that. Anyways, guys, trying to make this video shorter. I don't want it to be too long. The last one was like almost 30 minutes, maybe too in depth. Maybe I repeated myself too much. But these are my class setups. These are for sure the best class setups. I'm sure you can interchange some things here and there, and maybe there's some other perks that you can use that are viable. But when it comes to a straight like one-on-one gunfights or just gunfights in general, like if you have these perks, these attachments, these guns, like 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be in the advantage, guaranteed. I can 100% promise you guys that. If you guys have any questions or there's any other guns you would like me to cover, I didn't go over LMGs or shotguns or sniper rifles or anything like that because you're not really going to be using them too often. Snipers maybe a little bit in competitive S&D, just trying to pick some people off, but I'm not really pub stomping too much with those other gun types. LMG, maybe the Dingo every once in a while, but the attachments for the Dingo are pretty much the same as the ARs, with the exception I typically will run fast mags with the Dingo just because it takes so damn long to reload. But that's the class setup, boys. The other thing that I will show you before I end this video, score streaks. You can run with the UAV, the Wraith, and the Raps. Those are just for sure, like, those are going to get you the most kills. If you're an absolute god, you can drop the UAV and use something like the Hardened Sentry, the Cerberus, or the GI. All of those are pliable. But anyways, that's the end of this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys start using these classes and start murking everybody. Thanks for checking out this video. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Peace out.